1968, the year Martin Luther King was assassinated.
The greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
Then Bobby Kennedy.
There has been a shot fired at the Kennedy headquarters in the Ambassador Hotel.
I was just a kid, but I remember the images of the Democratic Convention out of control in Chicago. It's almost 60 long years ago. It's also the year Robert Kern became a lawyer.
When I started practicing law, a divorce decree was one page.
Kern was a Texas District Court judge for 13 years.
I've stayed pretty active, particularly in Southeast Texas.
Retired 12 years ago, but at the age of 82, Judge Kern is still presiding in Texas courtrooms, still allowed to dole out justice. Or is Kern doling out real injustice to women?
I feel very cheated with him.
And you think it was because you're a woman?
Kind of belittling, condescending, just kind of the way he spoke to me.
We all want to have trust that our judges and our officials not only are unbiased, but that they're competent in their job.
But these accusations of bias are not the only reason. We want to see what they've been hiding in a multi-million-dollar divorce case playing out at the Waller County Courthouse. NewQuest Properties is worth a fortune.
There is no market that we're in that is as vibrant as the Houston market.
We're talking billions of dollars in commercial real estate deals.
We are one of the best places to work.
And the co-founders of NewQuest got really rich. Politically powerful too. The owners have handed out hundreds of thousands of dollars in campaign money. $580,000 from co-founder Steve Alvis to Governor Abbott just in the last 5 years.
It's a game changer. The Texas miracle is alive.
Alvis has been appointed to the board of the Texas Transportation Commission. He's also on the board of the Waller County Economic Development Partnership. When the Waller County Judge Trey Duhon ran for re-election, Alvis and co-founder Jay Sears were squarely behind him. More than $17,000 in campaign money from Alvis and his wife, Sears and his. NewQuest is investing big time in Waller County. In January, the company announced plans for the Texas Heritage Marketplace, a 750,000 square foot development in Katy, a $400 million investment, the kind of money Waller County has likely never seen. But behind the scenes, there has been trouble, and it's been contagious, and it's been kept a total secret. On August 4th, 2020, Jay Sears filed for divorce from his wife, Deborah. Just 10 days later, Steve Alvis filed for divorce against his wife. It's gotten so ugly that now Jay Sears' own adult daughter is suing him in Harris County, claiming he cheated her out of a multi-million-dollar real estate deal. That court filing in Harris County, a matter of public record. But look what happens when you search the Waller County clerk records for the legal issues facing the NewQuest co-founders in Waller County. The Sears divorce case doesn't even exist. There are records of 3 divorce filings by the wife of Steve Alvis, the last one in June of 2020. But look for the lawsuit Steve Alvis filed against his wife months later for divorce, and you see nada. Nothing. Not even the motions to seal the divorce case in secrecy can be found. After we discovered the hidden divorce filings, we asked Waller County to explain it. An assistant DA told us Judge Kern confirmed the sealing order was only for the contents of the cases, not their existence. But a month later, we looked again. Still nothing. And it's unclear why. What we know about this divorce case involving Jay Sears and his ex-wife Deborah comes mostly from this failed complaint to the Texas Supreme Court, what the lawyers called a writ of mandamus. It accused Judge Kern of repeatedly violating the family code, cheating Deborah from the very first time Kern took the bench in this highly complicated divorce case. Jay Sears ignored our calls, and we couldn't get into the country club in Waller County to see his property there. But we did go to Deborah's home, and she answered the door. Hi, Miss Mloud?
Yes?
Hi, I'm Wayne Dolcefino.
Oh.
Deborah Mloud wouldn't tell us about the case, but we've learned when she first went to court with Kern on the bench, she thought it was just for simple motions. But when Kern took the bench, he proclaimed, without any testimony, the Sears marriage over, without any prior notice, too, leaving the debate over the multi-billion-dollar NewQuest fortune for a later date, eliminating the power that Deborah Mloud had to help control her own destiny. Among other things, denying Mloud of her right to a jury trial. Do you think Judge Kern has been fair? There are allegations he's biased against women.
I don't think I should comment.
We want to make sure that everybody is playing fairly by the rules and that there's not a good old boy system in the courts.
In our motion to unseal the court records in the Sears-Mloud divorce, we called Judge Kern's rulings in the case, quote, bizarre, a violation of Deborah's due process rights.
Agreed, it is bizarre.
Who will now hear our motion to unseal this secret divorce case in Waller County? You guessed it, Judge Kern. Bet he'll be glad to see me.
We really want to make sure that the transparency is given to the public so that we can look for ourselves and determine whether or not there's any improper actions going on in divorce court, at City Hall, or anywhere in the county.
One of our questions is why this hugely complicated divorce case is even filed in Waller County. Jay Sears clearly lives in Harris County, in the Heights. He has a homestead on another house in Houston. Deborah Mloud, she lives in Harris County too. So what's going on here? It looks like a case of someone trying to get a home field advantage. And there's a real question about whether this divorce case has any business being tried in Waller County, where the politics run so deep with NewQuest. Jay Sears must have done a little legal homework before he filed for divorce. Texas law requires you to live for at least 90 days in the jurisdiction before you can file for divorce there. So he apparently briefly moved into a home at the Houston Oaks Country Club, northwest of Highway 290 in Waller County. He then moved back to Houston. Apparently, that was good enough for Judge Kern.
It screams and it stinks. I would say that much.
But that's not all. The court documents say Deborah was forced to wrongly have to arbitrate her claims that her husband and third parties committed fraud on the community estate. The third parties, more than 200 separate NewQuest developments. NewQuest has lawyered up big time, hiring Baker bots. What's it like fighting against NewQuest?
Well, I can't talk about the case because it's sealed.
It's unclear who will fight our motion to let the sunshine in, but the lawyers in the case aren't returning our calls. Neither is Judge Kern, who is facing growing complaints.
I would say that this isn't about a divorce case. This is more about public transparency and trust in the judicial system.
That's because Judge Kern is under fire from multiple women who've been in his court in Waller County and claim the judge is simply biased against women, like Sonia Castillo.
I was going through hell with my ex.
And Kelsey Hagendorf.
That's why I'm saying he was kind of belittling, condescending, just kind of the way he spoke to me or addressed me.
And you think it was because you're a woman?
I really do.
And Michelle Chung.
Like, what the hell happened here is how I felt.
We don't think he likes women very much.
Thank you. Either he doesn't like women or he doesn't like Hispanic women.
Sonia was glad to get rid of her ex, but the mention of the judge, well, you watch the reaction. Just the mention of it makes you upset.
Not the divorce, the procedure in the court.
Kern's age, now an issue too.
Altogether, he's too old to be there. Making decisions for something like this.
I'm old-fashioned enough to where I still have a lot of difficulty if I have to go online and use a particular system to get into a file.
He actually looked like he was falling asleep a couple of times.
Judge Kern has told Waller County he will only show up there one day every 2 months going forward. That will cause huge delays in justice. This is the new Waller County Courthouse. You know what's missing from it? A real courtroom. We've filed a motion to open up the records in your divorce case. Do you oppose that?
I don't know what my attorneys have decided to do. I know there's been discussion about not spending more on attorneys' fees, but I don't know what the final decision will be.
One thing is indisputable. These divorce cases, they drag on for years, and the public deserves to see why. These fights are pretty hard, aren't they?
They're hard, they're emotionally exhausting, and they're very expensive.
Especially in a courtroom where women are complaining they just don't get a fair shake.
I promise you, being a female, don't ever live in Waller if you've got issues, because they don't do nothing for you.
Let the sunshine in, Judge. Justice demands it.